All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier iHypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. And a special warm welcome to all of you tuning into the Hypnosis Life coaching journeys. As you know, this is a podcast that has been curated for you, especially if you are a healer and a coach, or maybe even if you are that seeker that's on life's journey. So, with that, I want to take a moment just to remind you we meet like this. We're literally inching towards the 100th episode. And for those of you who've been regularly tuning in, you know that we always make it a point to find some truly amazing guests, people who are already on this journey of coaching and healing, people who have seen success at different levels, not only personally, but even in the lives of their own clients. And so, with that, let us put our hands together and welcome in Madhavi. So, Madhavi, of course, this is your cue. You can go ahead and turn on your camera. So, good to have you here, Madhavi. Welcome to the iHypnosis Life Coaching Journeys.
Hi, Rahul. Good afternoon. And thank you so much. Really exciting to be here. And I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Beautiful. So, we'll jump right in like we always do. And let me start with our first question, because this is something that I'm sure you hear a lot, and especially in recent times you've heard. So when someone says, Madhavi, what do you do? What do you typically tell them today?
You've got me there because this is something I'm still exploring.
Nice.
So I would still say, I help women with a problem. Maybe they have a problem of overwhelm
Mm.
during this time and kind of especially in their career. So I would say I help them overcome this problem using my system, which is called a 20% neuro shift method, to
Nice.
help them overcome this problem and find the kind of success and wealth that they truly desire and look for.
Beautiful. So, like even hearing you right now, as you said it, I know this is not something that just happened overnight. Even for you to say what you say right now, and I know you kind of prefaced it or prefaced it with, this is something that I am still working through. But after that, what you said, it's literally something that I'm sure you have honed and shaped over a period of time, right? So
Yes.
before we actually get to the story of how you got here, and you talked about the neuro shift, and I'm sure there's been a journey to get here. But before we, get to know more about what your program is, what your system is, and how you do what you do, I'd love for you to take us back in time to the beginning. Like, how did all of this begin? Because there must have been a moment in time when you kind of decided to go a different track, and all of that led you to where you are today. I'd love for you to take us all along with you to the genesis, as they say. How did all of this begin?
So, just to kind of add to it, I've been in Buddhism for almost now 17 years.
Wow.
So, that kind of formed a lot of
Mm.
basis of what I have been about. But saying that, I think I was still not living that kind of abundant life. I would say, typically, like most of the women, even in India as well as abroad, raising up your children, kind of, I have had a financial background and was working for a company, but took a sabbatical and just taking care of everything. And then my kids were off to college. Somehow circumstances led for one incident which happened, which was the trigger. I happily, smilingly call it the Zomato incident. It was one evening, it was a winter, cold evening, and I was with my husband, and I was the credit card person of the whole family, always paying the bills, the kind of Zomato ones. So one day I just kind of, one of those things was really piling up to me, and I told him to repay me the money. That was a 300 rupees he owed me.
Mm.
And he decided to give it to me in coins and in small notes. Somehow that really broke me, shattered my confidence. And universal calling, I asked the Gonzon, which is my Buddhism, for help. And the whole thing unfolded in the form of the book Hero by Rhonda Byrne. That kind of came to me, and subsequently Jack Canfield, who's the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. He was my first mentor. He came in life, and then it started kind of, we're going in a different roller coaster ride completely. Yeah. So it started with something very small of a 300 rupees due.
Wow. Wow. Okay. I mean, I'm sure that, there's more to unpack there. So we can go two ways, right? So one is, we go deeper, which means you're more than welcome to talk about how that kind of, connected with you and as you call it, the Zomato incident. Like, what was that journey like? That's one route we could go. Or we could go sort of more of a horizontal route, which is to say that, like you said, there was the book, then there was Jack Canfield, and then there was probably a journey that continued from there. So you're more than welcome to choose whichever path. But what was, that journey?
So I would kind of talk about this deep pain point, which we women do tend to have. I mean, as kind of givers, in the sense of putting in that time and effort in the family, a lot of times we do not take that sort of time and space for our own selves. And I don't mean in the sense of going for parties. Don't mean that. I mean your own evolution. So that is something which is always put as a back burner. So I think universe always kind of reminds you. So I have really kind of working with money in the aspect, because I do believe money is a very important thing to talk about in today's time, especially for women and confidence. It is very different to talk about money in only respect of what is there in the family, but her own personal I think self-worth does come from the kind of money she's able to generate for herself. So that is one of the places which I wanted to dwell into. How can women really work on, bringing that up for themselves?
Right.
So, and I think because I've had that thing for myself, that maybe I could understand it a bit more, that it is still not acceptable in a lot of sense, even in India, for women to talk too much about money, about the desire to have money. This is something I want to kind of bring out this conversation over places where we can talk about it. We can candidly talk about it, can talk about our dreams, what we aspire for. So yeah, that is, I think, one of the path that I am walking on now.
So when that incident happened, do you remember what was that first breakthrough that you had after that moment?
Yeah, so I would say, like, when I asked the Gonzon for help, that was step one. Step two was the book that came in, which talked about, people who came from nowhere and they created the life for themselves.
Mm.
You know, even GMR Rao, he talks about him, like where he came from a village which had no electricity. So they talked about a lot of people, real life people who came from no background, and it created. So that inspired me. And Jack Canfield was there. And then I kind of took up the coaching journey where Pooja Gupta came into my life. It came as a kind of from Instagram, and I entered her coaching program. So yeah, I think that was just the stepping stones which you walk on. As soon as I think when I set a desire that I wanted to change this, I didn't want to be stuck in the same place. So as soon
Right.
as you kind of have the desire, you are kind of always universally guided. So, you don't have, one doesn't have to think of too much about how it will happen. It happens as in a very natural manifesting way.
Right, right. Nice. So that was so. If you go back through a timeline, this happened now, like over the last. Was this like pre-COVID or was it post-COVID? So it's been about like
It's
5, 6 years now.
No, it's been a 2-year journey. It
Oh
was
wow.
it was Jan 2024. So if you can think about it, it's such a short distance time that I was able to step up in such a quick way, and it was completely universally led from me to even write my book. Like, I just inspired, like, to want to be an author. I didn't even know if I had something to share. Like, the small voice in my head would say, who would want to read what you write, what you've written? I mean, I've been a avid reader since I was 8 years old, but I didn't have the confidence that I can even write a book. As I say, that when you start walking that path, the growth comes very quickly. It's not a time of you to spend those years to kind of decode the universal law. So it's a very easy and simple system.
Got it. Nice. So 2 years, obviously, by the sound of it, it was pretty intense, and there were a lot of twists and turns. Are there maybe two or three such moments that stand out for you, where maybe it even surprised you?
Yes, I will say one incident always comes to my heart, and that was, when I had written a book, and I had Jack Canfield was step three. So I never thought that I'll ever get to meet Jack Canfield or see him, you know. But the change makers came in Mumbai and he was going to be there. So I decided to go for change makers. But I had a gold pass and he was going to meet people in the diamond pass to sign his book. And one of the things, you know, when he and Jack had come, he'd flown down for 2 days and he talked about being an asshole. He was kind of going through the whole manifestation process. We had a very intense training. So he talked about being an asshole, ask for help. So what I did was, I remember that we finished Chainmaker and Surain was there. Surain is the CEO of Success Kyan. So I just approached and I said, Surain, this is my first book and Jack Canfield is step 3 of my book. I would love to get this, signed by him. And I don't have. So he said, okay. He called somebody. He's like, okay, wait, I will try. I cannot promise it. I said, okay. He said, just wait. And I patiently wait. And the funny thing was, Rahul, this was a sample copy. I had not got all my copies out. I just got one dummy copy out so that I could take it for Chainmaker. So after some time, the Surain came to me and he said, Madhvi, we've lost your book. We don't have it. So do you have another copy? I did not, right? I said, no, I do not have it. Okay, fine. Jack is flying to Chennai. If you can send it to Chennai by some chance by tomorrow, we'll kind of try to get it done. And because he's there for a day. Anyways, I came back frantically trying to do something. And then I was get these missed calls and I got a call. I got a message from Pooja, like Pooja Puneet. She messaged me, Madhvi, we've got your book and we found your book and it's be fun, we'll send it to you. And when I came back and I first saw a book lying and I saw there was no signature, I was disappointed. Then after a week I got a courier and my book came and my first sample copy was signed by Jack Canfield.
Nice.
So that I think, does happen, that how come everything conspired for that signature to come on that book. Yeah.
Right.
So that is some story I would love to share with you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm also looking at the way you've framed what you do, which is like you said, money, mindset, and belief. Walk us through, like, as you said, your story, your journey, what you talked about has been for the last, especially the last 2 years, and that has led you to what you do today. So when you're saying it out loud, that money, mindset, and belief, what are your principles or what's your philosophy behind money, mindset, and belief?
Yeah, so I've been in the corporate sector for almost 16 years. I've kind of have worked with an ad agency and I've worked as a high ranking thing. But my mindset, even with Buddhism, was not kind of for asking for things. My mind, as all minds do, tends to does move towards negativity very easily. So when you kind of start working with your mindset, like mind is the most powerful tool that has been gifted to us. I mean, I know we hear about it, but honestly, in the sense your mind can create everything. So what kind of thoughts you're putting in have a greater impact than anything that you can do. So what your mindset is, why the blocks are there, why do we get stuck it is something which I really went very deep to do research. I mean, obviously, books and mentors came to me from a different form because I feel like, nothing comes to you like from your mindset with by Dr. I think Carol Dweck, she's written a book and she talked about how even an example was given how in the US, like there was a school which had predominantly black students and they were from the low ground, the low niche, and how the teacher worked with them and then kind of with the mindset, the kind of tools she used for them to really kind of come up and really create success from them in despite the kind of background they came from. So mindset is the key. And that is something I think so gifted to all of us. So simple to use your mind instead of strategies. So yeah, I mean that's something I'm a seeker, so I get deeper and deeper to learn more about it.
Nice. And now, especially that you've been on this journey, you've done a lot of the work. When you think about money mindset, your own money mindset, what kind of changes have you already noticed because you've been consciously working on it, especially these last 2 years?
So, like I said, I used to, like, I have been from the halves of the, people who have things in life. But at the same time, having a financial background also, I used to not manage my money well. Okay. I used to not, I mean, my credit card bills used to go up whenever kind of a thing. The change what happens when I started working with money as an energy was that consequently now, again, I say it's been 2 years of thing, when I had to take the first course with even
Mm,
Pooja Gupta and I had to pay 2.5 lakhs.
mm,
Believe me, I did not have that money. Okay, I
mm,
did not have the money to pay 2.5 lakhs. But within not 2 years, I've invested more than about 20 lakhs in my
mm,
education, and all the money has come from I don't know where. Along with that, that is the most interesting part. Along with that, I've started building up my portfolio, not only my investment
mm,
portfolio, even whatever like might be gold investment, whatever I've kind of investing in is always kind of going up.
mm,
I mean, there's a very interesting incident I have to share. When I started investing in stocks, and
mm,
a close family person came to me, and her husband was investment,
mm,
broker, led to very
mm,
heavy investments. So
mm,
she was talking about how there was a Black Monday and all the stocks had crashed, and a lot of losses. So I checked my the share stocks, and none of my stocks had gone down. So that is very interesting to know that when you start working with the energy, automatically things start moving in your direction. So we feel we have to work very hard for money to come in, whereas money comes in very effortlessly. So
mm.
that is the actually it's kind of a law of money, how the universe works, and laws don't change.
Okay. So now, as we slowly start to shift focus, tell us a little bit more about the kind of work that you do today. So, if you look at it like the evolution, we have that moment when we realize, okay, I need to make a shift. And so we begin that journey. And then we get to a point where, as you've been learning, you're now, more and more into that space where you want to be able to help other people. You want to be able to, as you receive now, you want to be able to share with others. So how's that journey been for you, and how's that what are some of the adventures that you've been on, especially in the recent times?
Yeah, so as a coach, I will say definitely like we get to learn so much from our clients. I mean, the whole idea is so I'm the CEO of my company, which is called Wings Empowered Platform.
Mm,
And the whole idea again behind Wings was, that it's like short form for WEEP, WEP, that
mm,
we all have a hidden WEEP within us. And how do we convert this WEEP into wings? So when I started working, it generated from just an idea, like kind of creating this space, a
mm,
safe space for women to be able to work with their own moon energy and to be able to kind of create the abundance. So my clients, I will say, have been my greatest teacher. Started with a small community from a one to one, and now I'm kind of in the process of building it up more. I mean, I do love my one to ones. I have lots of like group programs coming in, but nothing when I kind of connect with that one soul and a transformation happens. And I have had women who come to me like who've not like been working, and they started their own ventures, and this has happened over simple sessions, like I will say, like with, like 2 to 3 sessions,
mm,
like things start shifting like very quickly. So
mm,
I again say it's a process. So as soon as you decide that you want to change, things start shifting.
mm,
So yeah, weep is it's like my young newborn. So
mm.
I'm nurturing it with a lot of love and a lot of desires to keep building it up so that it can really help transform more than 3 lakh lives over some time and really create that sort of impact.
So maybe since you've talked about the journey in this context, share with us what was that aha moment when you worked with your first client, and what was that journey like for you?
So my first client who kind of came to me, uh, though I will say that she did not convert into a client.
Mm,
She just came to me because she did not have any goals. She did not know where it was. She knew something was amiss.
mm,
I mean, it was not about money for her. She had, like, the family had money, like, traveling around, doing all that. But there was something amiss. So the simple process, which I kind of took her, like this, we wrote a wings framework. So simple process I took her, it just opened up her own desires that she wanted more out
mm,
of life. And I think when I said when the shift happens, it is so instant. And then you kind of see that look in the person's eye. So
mm.
I think that aha moment of mine is when they have that aha moment. Yeah. So I think that always kind of, it lights me up. Yeah.
Nice. And you also talked about group programs versus what you love doing, which is working with people one on one. Walk us through some of those programs that you've got planned or that you've already rolled out, which are for groups. And of course, yeah, maybe we'll start with the groups and then we'll talk about the one on ones.
So in when it comes to me understanding that why is it not so simple for people to kind of just create a positive mental attitude to kind of get that sort of success which is needed, right? And I think it's like all CEO all over the world have taught us that. So there I realized that there were certain blocks, there's a mind, body and soul. We have these blocks which are there in us. So for me, when I went to group program, that is for having my aligned quantum Reiki program. So Reiki is a very beautiful, quantum Reiki is very beautiful healing tool to help people let go of that past because, we hold on to that negative aspect it so tightly. So Reiki is a very gentle kind of a way. So group programs in Reiki has been really effective to let go, and there's a power of community. So, a lot of my clients prefer doing one to one because they do not want to share their problems in the open spaces. But saying that, the power of community in healing is much more powerful. So when we all come together, as different people from different places, and we are able to even share our problems, I think somehow it helps to make the problem maybe even a little smaller and create that safe space. Yeah, so group programs is something. It's a different thing. Like even Napoleon Hill talks about a mastermind. The concept of mastermind is that when one mind and two mind, more than two people, they kind of come together. There is a very powerful super force which is created, like a super brain which is created. So the concept of mastermind is when people get together, you're able to find much easier and simple solutions to all the things. Yeah, that is something I want to still kind of take it further. It's not where it's like where I want to take it, but it's getting there. The journey is kind of becoming clearer.
Nice. Okay. And is there any particular program that you want to let people know about at this point? Anything that you've maybe just rolled out or that you're about to roll out?
Yeah, so I've got it's called a Wings CEO embodied CEO journey. It's like a 90-day journey which I take people, which it's a very beautiful system of kind of there's a very simple three-step system. It's just about identifying the block, it's healing the block, and the third part is like using hypnosis to kind of reinstate a positive mindset. So it's a very simple, easy system which can be followed by anybody, even keeping in mind that there's a time constraint. So this is something which I'm like working with my clients, and that is also something that keep on adding more things to it. So this is a program which is little closer to my heart because we take not only take the client through the 90-day journey, but we do offer them support with our mastermind groups for throughout our life, but whatever it is that is there. Yeah. So yeah.
Right. Nice. And when we began, you talked about, could you remind me again, what is the name of your system?
Sorry, 20% neuro shift system.
Neuroshift system. So tell us a little bit more about that. Like, what is this 20% neuroshift system?
Yeah. So, if you really look at life, we are, how a normal person is always working with life is, that we are putting in that 80% of that effort and we are just about to generate that 20% of result. Like you're doing everything, like working very hard. And by the end of it, it's just that sort of a result you're getting. With the neuro shift system, we convert this around. So we putting in that 20% of effort to get an 80% of result. So the pauses of life are the right time to be able to actually create things. People think that they have to create things by putting in a lot of time and hard work. Whereas the science is very different. The science says that when we are able to align, when you're able to create through even meditation, we create the neuro shifts, like we create new neural pathways in our system through habit building. We can generate better and faster results. So I help them employ doing this, like these are proven systems with even like using that eat that frog method in which you create systems which work, and so that you do not feel the overwhelm by the end of the day, that you don't know how the day went, and you can spend more time doing things which you're passionate about. Might be reading, might be traveling around, maybe creating new experiences. So the quality of life has to kind of go up.
So, one very important question, as healers and coaches, we typically spend a lot of time on finding ourselves, on educating ourselves as adults. Uh, so one of the aspects that I realized that we it would help to talk more about is in conjunction with family. So as healers and coaches, we are doing a lot of the work. We're getting better with time, of course. So what have your experiences been with respect to family? When you look at now these last 2 years versus as a contrast, maybe the last 15 years versus these last 2 years, like what are some of the changes that you have noticed?
So, to start with, I'll just kind of talk about, like, I married my high school sweetheart and been married for now 25 years. But saying that, there was always a little gap between my relationship with my husband. So, very interestingly, when I started working with money energy, I
Mm,
think the first shift which I saw happening was not in my money, but I saw the shift happen in our relationship with my husband. Like, my relationship started with him became, much better. It started becoming consolidating to a better friendship.
mm,
So that is my first shift which I saw. When it comes to family, very interestingly, if you understand the karmic law, I think our family is always there to teach us a lot of lessons and for
mm,
us to gain a lot of perspective. So,
right.
if you really see, like, a lot of times we do not get troubled by people outside more than we get troubled by our family. So I think my family, my process with them is always kind of leading to I know they inspire me to work more on myself, because whenever the things are not going on, I know that I need to do a little bit more of my soul work to kind of shift that karmic imbalance which is there. So I think that's what, maybe if my family was not there, maybe I would have not inspired to, kind of go on this journey. Yeah, I think they are a constant reminder to us that we need to work on ourselves. We need to change things around, because this is my soul's journey. I mean, I've decided this all myself, what I want to go through, right? So they're just a reminder. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's a very powerful way of looking at it. That they are sort of like a reflection of you, and the challenges that are show up are designed as a way for you to be a better version of you. Right?
Beautifully put, Rahul. Absolutely.
Right.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that's really really powerful. And also, I bring this up because sometimes it feels like the enemy is within or
Mhm.
within our own walls. But this is another way of looking at it, that yes, family does actually help us grow, especially as we are on this journey of being healers and coaches. One more thing I wanted to check in with you on, Madhvi, which is, of course, something that we call the journey of mentors. Walk us through, of course, 2 years sounds like it was very, very intense. But what were some of the who were some of the mentors that showed up, and specifically, like how did their presence at the time that they showed up? How did that make a difference to you? What changes did you experience because those people showed up?
Do have different ways we can kind of connect with the knowledge of the, so, like,
Mm,
we have some people who are visionary, some are auditory, like, kind of, there's some
mm,
are kinesthetic. So saying that, like, for me, I think one of the thing is, like, for me, a lot of information and knowledge came from books also. They kind of guided me to the path. Saying that, every time that I needed to kind of learn something, the mentors, I think, stepped in. Like, Pooja also talks about it, when the student is ready, the
mm,
mentor appears.
mm,
So for us is always that, like, when you are wanting to learn that knowledge, your mentor comes from different ways of life.
mm,
So saying that, I mean, there's like, again, a system of gurus is so important. Yeah. So I have so much of respect for each and every mentor who's come and taught me something, has helped me, evolve myself. One of the first mentors was Jack Canfield. That was a course which I'd taken. And then I did my, course. He's head of the Global Sciences US, and he uses the system of Ho'oponopono, if you have heard about it. He's written fabulous book called even Zero Limits. I mean, I'm part of his community, and it's so much learning to go.
mm,
And then came, like, Pooja Gupta. Like, she's the one it started, like, kind of working in a community where there's a kind of create a safe space, giving me those mindset tools to work with. And there have been so many mentors, like, Siddharth Rajshekhar has been there. I mean, I've learned so much from, him.
mm,
Technology came, it's something we have to always learn. Gopal Krishan, like, he's part of my mentor. Now he's like kind of brought in Sudarshan Kriya into my life.
mm,
Like, even, working with EFT, like, Parul is one of my mentors who taught me about quantum Reiki, like, healing. So yeah, like, my list can go on about it. Right now, currently, I am doing the RTD program by Marisa Peer. and she's a hypnotic specialist. Like we've heard about her and her how a system helps in transformation. So that is the current training which I am doing, and lots of gratitude to each and every mentor of mine.
Wonderful. Right. So, since we are recording this at the start of the year, I'd love for you to share what's the vision that you're seeing of this year, and how do you see clients, how do you see community members in your community being benefited by the miracles that you are receiving this year?
Yeah, so like while we are speaking, my vision board is flashing right in front of me. It's right there where I can see it. So I always say, ki, create your own vision of what you want your life to be, to how it you want it to unfold. Because if you do not create your own vision, then it's just whatever comes, comes. Okay, so decide what you want. First thing is that. So your intention, your sankalp has to be so clear. So I have a beautiful graphic decision, like what I want to do, where I want my focus to go on. And yeah, it's like, I think this year is going to be like a most magnificent year. I can see so many things happening. I mean, we have not even like, we're almost finishing Jan and so much has already come up. So I am looking for a fabulous year and, I'll like blessing to every soul who's here to have a really great. This is going to be really one of those turning point. I mean, these are some years in the universal order which are turning points, and this is one of the years. So I would tell everyone to don't miss out, create your goals and live your life of dreams,
Beautiful.
definitely.
Beautiful. So, as always, like these pods are made with you in mind, because my intention, if you're thinking about it, is like my intention is that more people find you. The reason why the iHypnosis life coaching journeys exist as the podcast is so that more people find you, more people get to know about what you're doing, and they get to follow along with you. So one of the things, of course, is when this goes up on our channel, and we will of course be sharing the video links with you as well. On our channel, obviously, we will be sharing the links of how people can reach you, and they can follow along with you. And of course, for those of you who have stuck around till now and you've listen to, I'll say the full name, Coach Madhavi Lamba. Money, mindset, and belief is definitely something that she is about. And you've heard so much about her, and you've heard her stories. Definitely follow along and follow along her journey as she goes from, as you yourself described it. It's just been 2 years, but it's been a deep 2 years of going within, and also reaching a point now where you are helping more and more people. Right? You mentioned 3 lakh women, 3 lakh people. And my wish for you is that you are able to experience that and so much more. So, thank you once again, Madhavi, for taking the time and sharing your story, sharing your perspectives, your philosophy. And I really do wish you the best right through the year. May you continue to inspire more people. May you continue to be inspired. As we always say, it's like picture to abhi baki hai.
I know. Thank you, Rahul. It's been such a beautiful space to kind of, have talking to a like minded person. And I can see how you're going to inspire so many people to change a life, because it just, you just need that one podcast to change someone's life. And I hope that there's some sort of a transformation is kind of created with this. So thank you for creating this beautiful
My
space.
pleasure. My pleasure. And of course, for those of you who've tuned in and you watched all the way till here, continue to follow Coach Madhavi Lamba. And these pods keep happening. These are curated for you. So if you know of people that you would like to, maybe you already follow them and you want to know more about them. You want to know at a deeper level their story, their, as we call it, the hero's journey, their what led them to be who they are today. This is the space where you can find that. And of course, do share in the comments. You're more than welcome to talk about other people who you would also like to see come here and share their stories. So thank you once again. And Madhvi, all the very best. May this year truly be that breakout year for you as well. Right? So
You too.
thank you so much.
Definitely.
Having said all of that, of course, always remember to live your purpose. God bless. Of course, we will be back with more pods very, very soon. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.